If I am a person, then I'm born to suffer. If I know my true reality, there is only happiness, peace, fulfillment. I'd like to say a word today, in a nutshell, about the three shortest, fastest path to recognize what I am. It is fast only if you burn for it, if you dedicate yourself to it, if your interest for it or your aspiration for it is higher and more intense than your interest for the contents of your mind. It is a devotion. It is a consecration. Some spiritual seekers on this path say that I've been practicing self-inquiry for the last 30 years. And yet, self-inquiry can take you in no time. Again, if you are ready for it, it should drop all your beliefs about what you are, what you think you are, which is just a construction. It's a construction made of thoughts, memories, in which so many things are associated, like feelings in the body. They seem to consolidate the belief that what I am is this body and mind, all these feelings, and the five senses. They give the impression that, yes, I am this person who is experiencing, feeling, tasting, enjoying. And so I need to detach from all these activities of the mind and here you have a number of ways. There's not just one way. You are the eye of the eye. You are the pure subjectivity which stands prior to your personal subjectivity, which has a story. So you must here undertake this reverse path from the personal I to your deeper I. That is not a person, it is just presence. Presence. Call it impersonal presence. Some seekers may feel afraid if you say impersonal, because attachment to the person, to our ID, to our profile, to our past, to our achievements, our plans, our agenda, you see. So, impersonal presence must be very cold there. It's not a place that you may enjoy, yet you have not yet perhaps tasted it. It is pure happiness. The happiness that you try to find in the outer world is actually right here in you. And having separated yourself from your true self, you are always looking for it through the objects of perception and, more generally, the objects of mind. And of course, at this level, you can't find it because you, as the seeker, you are that already. It is not in the perceived object. It is the awareness that allows the perception and also the enjoyment of the objects. The moment you are blessed with a glimpse of your pure presence, you will never forget it. And you know that this happiness, this infinite happiness, is there in you. It is the closest reality. All the rest is a further addition, a play, a sort of kaleidoscopic fiction, a sort of dream on the screen of this indescribable happiness. So the fulfillment, the fullness is already in you and is you. So it is enough to disconnect from all the attributes of the I. Understand? I am this, I am that. All your profile is made of attributes. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm young, I'm old, I'm a citizen of this country, I'm a vegan, or I'm a vegetarian. So if you have the courage to dissociate yourself from the story, from the attributes of your I, which stands for your pure subjectivity, you can't escape from direct recognition of this pure presence. What prevents us from the direct recognition is our clinging to the objects of mind, or vested interest that have been consolidated life after life. So if that attachment is strongly rooted in your subconscious, unconscious mind, it may take some time. That's why in all schools of spirituality, anywhere on the world, purification of the mind is a must. They have not consulted each other to say such a thing. It is there in all ancient traditions of wisdom, anywhere on the planet. Purification of mind is must if there is a strong clinging. We are not here saying that a total purification of the mind is needed. It's impossible. Total purification comes only in the direct vision. The fire of direct vision will burn all the binding vasanas in you. But your practice on this journey will already burn a great deal, so that it will not stand in the way for the glimpse, for the initial awakening, what I call usually here the pre-awakening. The spiritual journey is really starting from this pre-awakening. Because prior to the pre-awakening, you feel like walking in the night with a dim light. You don't know exactly where you are. You can't see the landscape. You just put one step after the other. You trust the guide. You trust the guide. You trust the direction. I go to this direction, but you can't see much. But once you start seeing, then you really are on the path. And this path is a path of becoming no one. It is a path of extinction, dissolution. Dissolution of what I am not, to be ever what I am, which is immortal, which is Sat Chit Anand, absolute existence, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss. So this reverse path, through a process of self-inquiry, who am I, will take you there. Because from the personal I, after removing all the personal attributes of your individual I, you necessarily come to your deeper I. It's a gradual process. And the more you progress on this path, the more you feel enhanced and blissful. The peace that has no external cause is the criteria that you are progressing in the right direction. The closer you come to your true being, you will experience this peace, the causeless peace, the essential peace that the world cannot give you, that the world cannot take away from you. Whatever the circumstances are around you, everything can go wrong and mad and terrible, yet you are immersed in that ocean of peace. So, self-inquiry takes you from the personal I to the pure I. That means pure subjectivity, unassociated with any of the data of the mind. That is the I am, because no attributes. You cannot say I am such. It is just I am. The emness stands for existence, aliveness, beingness, and the I in I am stands for your innermost subjectivity, because subjectivity is there. Otherwise, you cannot respond to situations, you cannot interact with so-called others. You need a subjectivity. Nothing wrong with the subjectivity. That is, our consciousness reveals itself here through this sentient form. So there is here a pure, non-personal subjectivity. There is pure conscious presence without any story, contentless and dimensionless. It's a space that has no borders. Yet, my true essence is beyond. my true essence is not subjective. That subjectivity is the first effulgence of what I am, really. That's what we may call consciousness. It all depends your terminology. But today, in the common parlance, with the influence of Buddhist teachings and mindfulness, we usually call the consciousness that appears here awareness. Awareness of something, not consciousness of something, in this particular philosophical register. And consciousness, then with a capital C, stands for the pure essence, infinite essence of this local awareness. There is also another way to come to this recognition that doesn't need any inquiry. Since I am this pure awareness, impersonal awareness, it must be there in all my conscious experiences. So when I look at something, like a tree, a mountain, people, there is that pure awareness, plus the additions of the mind. This phenomenal perception is processed by body and mind. It's a processed perception. It is not a pure perception. Now, if you follow a discipline of trying to look at this phenomenal world, and also your inner world, your mental world, without going into the interpretation, the conditioning. If you try to remain in this neutral, unassociated seeing, what we call the pure seeing, what is happening? You come also to recognize yourself as this pure awareness which was ever there, but unnoticed. It was overlooked because, again, you were caught up in the objects of this awareness. But if you practice the pure seeing, that means pure witnessing, disinterested witnessing, you come automatically to this recognition that you are that pure seeing, where there is completeness, where there is fulfillment. Whereas in the objects of this awareness, there is pleasure or displeasure. Everything will fluctuate from happiness to pain and suffering. Nothing is constant. Whereas in your pure seeing, there is lasting peace and happiness and fulfillment. So this may be a theory. If it is the first time you hear that, it's a theory, but you can please confirm by yourself. Lord Buddha said, don't believe any teaching. Be a lamp for yourself. Confirm through the practice, by yourself, for yourself. Don't depend on any belief, on any doctrine, on any teaching. A teaching is an invitation. I'm just saying that if you practice pure seeing, pure witnessing, which is not only, you see, a great technique in Vedanta that's called the Sakshi Bhava, the attitude of being the witness, but it is also the foundational practice in Buddhism. So you see all the interrelation between different traditions. We are speaking of the same, and even our methods are the same, and what we realize is the same. It is extraordinary. When two sages of different traditions meet, it's a celebration because they realize, first through silence and presence, that they are that. They are immersed in the same undefinable, unspeakable, inconceivable reality. The rest belongs to philosophy, culture, place and time. Contemplate deeply what you are, what you now are convinced you are. If you hear that you are not the person, but you are that infinite reality, that ocean of consciousness, ocean of presence, ocean of peace and bliss, by simply contemplating it, since you are that already, you automatically disassociate with the whole world of the mind created by the mind, the world in which you are living, which is a dream world. And you come to recognize that. So here, since it is not yet your direct experience, at this moment you don't experience it. It's still an imagination. I know, I'm totally convinced through my studies, my readings, the satsangs, my association with a teacher, my meeting with great realized gurus, I know I am that infinite ocean of consciousness. Now, just contemplate that and don't bring another thought in this contemplation. Contemplate exclusively this feeling, this thought. It's a thought, it's a vritti, to the exclusion of any other thought. That means any thought that was associated with your personality, with your story, with your borrowed identity, with your beliefs. So if you are ready to contemplate unceasingly, I can't tell you how much time it will take. It may take days and weeks and months. It may also take just a few hours. It all depends your readiness and the intensity of your aspiration and your state of detachment. If you can contemplate uninterruptedly this ultimate imagination, which is the highest imagination, the imagination of the divine, the supreme, the infinite. We say Brahman in India. You come to realize it because it is the only reality without a second. There is no other reality. The world of forms is only an appearance. It is that unique reality appearing, giving the appearance of multiplicity. That multiplicity doesn't exist by itself. It's an appearance within the one. And you are that one. Since you were lost in the world of forms and multiplicity, you just associate exclusively to one thought, one feeling. That is the thought of Brahman, the thought of the divine, the thought of infinity. And infinity reveals itself to you. This is a path that has been confirmed generation after generation. This long lineage of sages, since time immemorial. This is what is transmitted to us today. We are not starting from scratch. We are not the first spiritual seekers. Many have been seeking before this particular phenomenal existence, and many have realized it is for everyone. It's not for exceptional seekers. It is for the ordinary seeker, provided he, she is dedicated. Provided this become your top priority.